Here comes Hyman in the 28.
Good run off the 2 for Dill.
Hello everyone, it is hard to believe, but the racing season is wrapping up around north central Wisconsin. I'm Bryon Graff. As always, Curt Keene will join us in just a few minutes. We are happy you were along for the ride this year as we brought you highlights, interviews, tech tips, and much more on FastTrax. Since the points titles have been awarded around our immediate area, this will be our final lap for the season. But before we go, we have a lot to get to, including Marshfield's championship night. Rain pushed championship night back to Saturday the 29th. Reagan May had the fast time in the super late models. Frank Nitsky led early in the feature until Derek Kraus, just days away from his 14th birthday, moves in front on the second lap. Kraus opens up that lead. Ryan Hinner, in the hunt for the season points title, was the first guy in Kraus's mirror. Kraus wins a feature in a super late model for the first time. He won in a truck earlier this year at Rockford. Hinner wraps up the season title. He's in second, followed by Reagan May in third.
It really hasn't sunk in yet. It'll probably sink in more tomorrow. We're at Slinger Racing, but it feels really good already. The car was good. I got to thank the whole crew, my mom, dad, Greg, Lauren, Mason, the Denny boys, Darren, and then everyone that came out tonight.
And you wanted to get a feature win before your 14, which is coming up. You got to be feeling great.
Yeah, it feels really good to win when I'm 13. I wanted to do one before I turned 14, which is Tuesday on my birthday, first day of school, which kind of sucks. And it feels really nice to win at such a young age and set a record like that. I set one also at Madison with the truck.
I mean, a month ago we were going, we don't even have a chance, and then we've really improved the car. We've had winning cars wherever we've gone for the last 3 weeks, and got turned into the wall at Wausau. I had to rebuild the whole front end, and Brian Reffner just helped me out a ton, rebuilding spindles and A-arms, and came here, and we knew we had a lot to do to make up that 19 points, and that's going to be tough to do. And unfortunately, it's not the way you want to win them. You don't want to win because somebody else breaks, but it's, I've had the bad luck. We all have, and it's unfortunate that Mark broke. We didn't get the race for it, but I mean, super late model racing is so hard. You take them any way you can get them.
Brian Weinfurter led the Superstocks points title race and was fastest in qualifying. And all that transfers into the feature. He leads wire to wire for the victory. John Zuck is second with Rachel Callis third. Weinfurter, your points champion.
Oh yeah, it was a good night. Car ran good tonight, and it's always good to come away with a win and a championship, so it's pretty cool. I think the car is at 12 championships right now.
12 championships.
And 20 years old this year.
Carl Jeanette already had the Pure Stocks title wrapped up, but his brother Kyle knew there was still a race to run. He had fast time and won the heat, and he turns it into a clean sweep by taking the feature as well. Carl Jeanette, the champ, is second, with Curtis Wasik crossing the finish line third.
Yeah, I mean, winning at Plover, that one was hard fought and earned. But this one, I mean, it's the one car that's been here all the nights, so I guess, yeah, it was given to me. But, I mean, if that bad deal with Dan wasn't to happen, I know he'd be here every night too, to have a shootout with me. And, it would have been a good run for the money.
Brandon Herr has the early lead in the Extreme Fours and opens up a lead over Charlie Nickel. Then Tim Hintz makes a move into second place. Lap 13, Adam Krakowski says, "It's my turn now." Then takes aim at Herr, who's opening up a wide lead on the way to the checkered flag. Krakowski second, Hintz is third. Kevin Eckes is fifth, which is enough to wrap up the points race.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is crazy. I mean, the car this year was just remarkable. Yeah, I'm on a high. It's been eluding me for years. 10 years ago, I was close, and this year, finally did it.
I mean, for a car that you didn't think that had much motor at the start of the year, this thing gave everything it could give you, and it gave you a nice trophy at the end of the year.
Yeah, the car was handling just awesome. I mean, motor, we're the smallest motor out there, and it was more than the handling is what got us to the championship.
Keith Wasik swept through fast time in a heat race in the Bandits. George Seliger jumps out front in the feature, but Wasik was feeling it, taking over on the second lap. Jerry Brickner, already with a State Park Speedway title in hand, follows to the second position. But Wasik's machine had too much for anyone to pass him as he picks up the feature win. Brickner second for his second title in a span of 3 days, with Seliger third.
Has been the best week of racing for us. Once again, we kind of had some bad luck here. We didn't finish a race that kind of took down our points lead, and then we came in tonight, and I knew I was like 18 or something ahead. I didn't get fast time, got beat in the heat by them, and I knew going in the feature I just had to finish second, so I gave them a run through in the middle of the race. I was trying to run them down, and 2 laps ago I just said I might as well just stay in back and see where it pans out, you know, stay in second, and that's all I needed to do, so that's what I did.
Marshfield runs its fall shootout September 11th and 12th with the Yellow River Racing Series on Saturday.
But down in victory lane, get out of the car. Let's hear it for him. Keith Wasik, your feature winner.
You can see lots of hard work paying off for those teams. Congratulations to all the winners. Now we have to step away. When we come back, we will have Curt Keene in his review of the area's 2015 season.
It's brought to you by Brickners of Wausau.
The 2015 Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat is the most powerful muscle car ever. The Scat Pack is back. Dodge Charger SRT 8. Save big at the summer clearance event at Brickners of Wausau, North Central Wisconsin's larger Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram dealer.
Do you like to walk?
Do you want to live longer?
You will love square dancing.
Friends you meet for life.
Marvelous people.
I guess I meet people. I love it.
Love it.
I love square dancing.
The fun, the family.
Great variety of music.
The camaraderie.
Too young.
It's fun.
Try it, you like it. Call 715-544-7969. Visit WisconsinSquareDancing.com for more information. First lesson free, singles and couples welcome.
Country Fresh Meats. Fresh is in the name, and that's what we serve. Nothing but the freshest meat products from local farms in the area. No preservatives needed, just your pork, beef, and sausage the way it's supposed to be. With special packages and gift baskets, you can be sure to get the best bang for your buck. We pride ourselves in tailoring our products to what you need. Whether it's for a family get-together or party, we can create special orders to fit what you need. Taste the difference quality makes. Country Fresh Meats, from our farms to you.
It sits quietly, patiently, like it's stalking prey. Then suddenly, it awakens. The 2015 Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat with unprecedented 707 horsepower at Brickners of Wausau.
Welcome back. I'm Bryon Graff. As always, Curt Keene joins us now with his weekly dose of Keene Observations. And we're at the end of the season here. You called races at State Park Speedway, Marshfield, and Golden Sands. You do TV and radio. That is a lot of racing this year.
It was a lot of racing, and then if I went to some racing events, like when we went to the Dells, next thing I know I was in the booth, or the other night I went over to watch a buddy race and announce with my buddy Steve Parsons over at Oshkosh, who I used to announce with at Marshfield. So there's still plenty of events yet to go this year. Obviously, we're done around here. We got some specials obviously coming up at Marshfield on the 11th and 12th, and going to be announcing up at Tomahawk. My buddy Bart bought a track up there, dirt track, so we'll be announcing on the 19th, and go to some specials at Jefferson, and then Oktoberfest, October 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. So it's not over yet.
And you had the demolition derbies as well.
Yep, demo
that
derbies.
was part of it too.
Yes.
We can't skip over that.
Don't forget about them.
You kind of jumped ahead with some of the stuff I wanted to talk with you about what's still going on, even though this will be our last show for the year. But there are some events going on later on. You talked about Tomahawk Speedway and what Bart is doing up there.
Yep.
State Park Speedway, they have that creepy classic enduro coming up in October, and then Oktoberfest in La Crosse.
October 25th, I believe. And like you said, Marshall has a fall special. And it's actually a big one, the 11th and 12th of September. They're going to be giving $1,000 for an open four-cylinder division. So that should draw interest in cars. They're going to start 43 cars on that event. So that'll wrap up the season there. And I think they even also have even destruction at the end of September as well. But yeah, there's still a lot of stuff. But for the regular points battles, it's over with for the season. And it was kind of a season that we wouldn't have been able to predict the way it came down the last few weeks in some divisions as well.
We talked about the different tracks. Give me some of the highlights of what stood out for you in 2015.
Well, I thought, Jeremy Lepak was pretty strong, the first few weeks. He ended up winning some features. And then I thought, he was consistently running top 1, 2, 3 in the super late models. MG Gajewski finished 40 points back out. I think it could have been different. Mark McAsee, his car just wasn't up to par. But, Ryan Hinner, he was coming on strong towards the end. And, it showed, he almost had a chance to win a feature. But, at State Park a couple weeks. But, we're down on the cars. But I thought it was hard racing at the end. I think if Tim Sauter and Natalie Decker would have been there, may have shifted some points if they raced weekly. But, a good season in that division as well. And then at Marshfield Motor Speedway the last night, obviously you've seen Mark Eswine coming into the championship. He was leading the points by 19, and Ryan Hinner ended up winning it because Mark broke. So, you know, I wouldn't have expected that because Mark's a good front runner over at Marshfield, and, you know, it's just crazy year. And the other divisions, again, I think we said it last week, points coming down to 1, 2, 3, 4 points again in the other division. It was just wild nights.
Hinner had some damage sustained on his car at State Park Speedway on a Thursday. Marshfield rained out Friday. How did that help him on that Saturday?
Yeah, if it didn't rain out Friday night, he wasn't going to be able to go. So, you know, that just shows that, you know, Mark probably would have won the championship on Friday if his car didn't break, but, you know, because Ryan wouldn't have been there. And so I think Mark still would have held on for the lead. So he's got to thank Mother Nature. I talked to Ryan. He didn't really want to win the championship that way, but, you know, I think that's a great answer to say. I'll tell you what, if that was me, I would be excited as heck because Mark, like I said, Mark just runs really good at Marshfield, and to get a 19-point swing is a little bit tough, and especially, you know, the way the points work. And, you know, I'm not a points guy, so I just know that, you know, sometimes you have to finish fifth and you have to win, and that's what it would have happened. I couldn't see that would have happened if Mark was racing.
Reagan May was really in that points battle going back and forth at Golden Sands.
Yeah, and she was the first girl to ever win a super late model championship at Golden Sands, and, you know, another person that wasn't going to run all season at Golden Sands. She come out of the season with the points lead for a few weeks and had some good runs over there, and she did a great job winning a championship. It was, you know, it was very impressive to see her get a championship, and seeing what she's going to do with the rest of the season and with her career. I know she's focused on that Quickie development program, so it was fun to watch a lot of different firsts for people.
And a lot of those people you were just mentioning, they were driver guests on this show, and it was fantastic for us to have a chance to visit with them. This will be our last segment for Keene Observations for the year. We kind of did our thank you to you at the end of Fastlane prior to moving into FastTrax, so luckily we got new life with a new station, and we were able to finish out. But our thanks to you with all the knowledge that you bring to the show.
Yeah, I just, you know, want to thank all the drivers that came on board. You know, sometimes it was last-second deals, and try to get them here out of their busy schedules to get race cars and stuff like that. And it's been fun, and we hope to be back next year and be back at the track. And again, don't forget to get to those fall specials. It's actually fun. It's a really good time. So that's all I'll say at that.
We're looking forward to that. Our thanks to Curt Keene for all he's done for our show. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we will review some of the best moments with this year's driver guests who visited with us in studio.
Brought to you by Flipside Graphics.
Looking for a high-impact way for your business to stand out from the rest? Flipside Graphics specializes in vehicle wraps, vinyl graphics, and much more. Cutting-edge graphics with professional results is what we stand for. Have a large fleet that needs to be flipped or shirts to be embroidered? Our design team will handle every aspect of the project from start to finish. We design it, we wrap it, we flip it. Call Flipside Graphics today and stand out from the competition.
We know how hectic your day can be. If it's time for your next oil change service, visit Brickner's of Wausau Valvoline Express Care Center. We'll change your oil with quality Valvoline oil and new Valvoline filter. Complete vehicle maintenance check in 30 minutes or less, plus a car wash. No appointment needed. Right now, upgrade to Valvoline Max Life or synthetic oil and get a Jimmy Johnson or Dale Earnhardt Jr. hat and wiper blades or a complete fuel system treatment. At Brickner's of Wausau Valvoline Express Care Center.
Do you like to walk?
Do you want to live longer? You will love square dancing.
Friends you meet for life.
Marvelous people.
Why does that mean people?
I love it.
Love it.
I love square dancing.
The fun, the family.
Great variety of music.
The camaraderie.
Too young.
It's fun.
Try it, you like it. Call 715-544-7969. Visit WisconsinSquareDancing.com for more information. First lesson free, singles and couples welcome.
Welcome back to FastTrax. I'm Bryon Graff. Back in our first show, co-hosted by Jana Wimmer, we aired it in May, and the driver guest that day was Mark Mackesy. Altogether, we visited with 15 drivers in studio, and we had a blast doing it. Here's a look back at some of the moments.
I might be spilling the beans a little bit here, but you were one of the people that actually kind of came up with the name.
Well, that's true. I mean, you had asked me about what should we do for a name, and I was like, well, let's think about this for a little bit, and I thought, well, fast lane sounded kind of good. So I went home tonight. My dad was in having some back trouble. And I went home and I said, well, these guys are saying I'm chicken. I mean, I really want to give this thing a try, you know. I was 17. It was 1987. I hate to date myself, but it's been a while. And he said, well, all right, we'll go next Thursday, and if you do okay in that late model, then we'll let you run it. And he thought I did okay, and I've raced late models ever since.
But what did you think out there? Because it was three of you battling back and forth, bumping. I think everyone had to save it at one point. It was pretty neat to watch.
It was exhausting. I was wore out after that race. I got in the pits. They said, what's wrong? And I just sat in the car and had to catch my breath because I don't think I read the last 3 laps of that race.
It's been a lot of fun just the last 4 years just to get out there, go out and see different racetracks and be competitive at them racetracks. So hopefully we're going to do that for a couple more years yet, and then maybe come back to local stuff again.
Takes a lot of crew guys helping us back and forth, but even myself, jumping out one car and the next and adjusting. Obviously it's completely different driving, but we make it work. And some nights I struggle, but we do it.
It's probably easier for me to tell you an uncle that doesn't race or a cousin that doesn't race because I can't find one. So, my father, on both sides of my family, everybody races. My uncles race. I mean, we race snowmobiles, we race cars. Pretty much anything we can get our hands on, we race.
And what's it like when Jeff Burton gives you a call on the phone and asks you if you can come down to North Carolina and help this kid race?
It was pretty neat. I didn't answer the phone call at first. I left to go to voicemail and listen to it for a couple times before I called him back. But Jeff's a really down-to-earth guy. He's one of the nicest guys I've known, and he's been really helping me a lot with everything.
My wife, when she cooks for our family, or if I cook for our family, we cook for the whole team. That's our family, and that's our whole thing that we talk about all the time. Probably 5-6 days a week we eat together, talk together, have a drink together once in a while, and just have a lot of fun.
The competition level around here in Wisconsin is so high that it brings out the best of you as a racer and makes you work really hard on your car. And then I think if you're able to be successful in Wisconsin, you're going to be successful, in other places as you move up in different series.
It's a very long process. You have to try out. First you have to send in an application kind of thing, and then they pick 20 drivers out of how many they get. And then you do workouts and drive a race car and interviews and all this random stuff. And then NASCAR judges you. So then NASCAR picks you to be on the team.
I am actually a 8th grade social studies teacher at Ben Franklin in Stevens Point. So it's a cool deal because I see some of my students at the track and they're kind of like, Mr. Hinner, it's like, oh, don't call me that here. I'm at the racetrack. This is my time. Yeah, that's my dad. So it's a neat job. I enjoy it, but it's kind of neat that the kids get a different side of it.
It's nice to come back home and race in front of your friends and family. And the expectations are always high to run good and to win.
I've always viewed that to become the best racer you can, you got to run at a lot of different tracks with a lot of different competition. Because you get those guys that are out there and they're really good at one track, but you can't go outside of your circle. So I've always viewed to get experience at as many trucks as I can, and that's how I'll get better as a driver.
I give a lot of credit to my wife, Tracy. I don't think there's a harder working race wife out there than my wife. She wears so many different hats on our race team. She does our tires. She's our spotter. Makes sure the cooler's packed, the checkbooks, the dog's ready to go. I mean, it goes on and on and on, and without her help, I'm afraid the trailer would be stuck in Elk Mound.
Well, right now, Wausau is my favorite track. New tracks are always exciting because you have to relearn everything, it seems like. And what's the preferred line, what's the preferred setup, go home, work on your car. I really like that part of it, going home a week later and making those fine adjustments and really tweaking the car.
The truck and the Bandolero, there's a huge power difference, and between the truck and the car, there's a big power difference. With going to Wausau, it's way different because of the lack of grip that it has there, and other tracks like New Smyrna has a lot of grip, so with the car you can really get onto the gas really early. Yeah, that feels pretty nice that they respect me and drive me like any other normal driver.
We're going to call it checkered finish, and we're going to see if it catches on. This feels like a really good racing term. All right, number one, what was your first car?
Race car was a Monte Carlo.
How about any car? Any car, just your get-around-town car.
An old Ford pickup truck that my dad had on the farm.
83 Buick Regal.
1981 Ford F-150 with a straight 6, 3 on the tree.
A red Corvette.
Really? What
Yeah.
year?
1979.
First street car was a Chevy Citation.
My dad never got me a car.
We're gonna
so
have
I
to
never
talk to
had
him
a
about
first
that.
car.
First street car, I actually still have it. It still kind of tries to drive around. It was a 97 Ford Ranger, little 4-banger stick shift.
What's your first street car?
I owned a 1970 Dodge Super Bee.
I had a Volkswagen Jetta stick shift.
My first street car was a 1988 Ford Mustang convertible with a 4-cylinder in it.
My dad, when he retired, he got a pickup, an SRT 10 Viper pickup.
Wow.
Right? So I pretty much stole that.
Oh.
You know, that was, but except for when it was out of gas, I would take the dually.
What would be your dream car?
Probably a 69 Camaro.
70 Cuda.
My dad and my uncle were big into GTO, so I think if I could get my hands on like a 69 GTO, I think that would be something I would love to have in my garage someday.
Probably just a really nice pickup truck.
A Ferrari, red Ferrari.
Dream car. You know, I'd have to say any older Chevy Camaro, like a 67, maybe 69 Chevy Camaro, that'd probably be my dream car.
Oh, I never thought about that. Probably a Viper.
I'm actually pretty basic when it comes to that stuff. I'm not in, I like the classic cars, but I'd be afraid to scratch it. So I just would like a nice new pickup truck is what I like. Silverado, something like that.
I think the new Chevy Camaros that are out on the street today, they seem to be quite sporty.
I would have to say either probably a Jeep Wrangler.
I would probably say the new Corvette would probably be my dream car. I think it's a C7. Pretty sharp looking car.
Early 70s Chevelle is my dream car. I mean, I always like the older classic cars.
Probably a Ford Mustang.
Okay, any particular year? Classic, something
Newest.
newer? Newer, okay. What was your first job?
Shearing trees.
Stocking shelves at a grocery store.
I was working for Town and Country Builders, Jim Cito. My dad worked for him and got me a job. I actually started probably 11 or 12 years old. I'd go there after school, and that was actually the first job I got out of high school.
I worked for my dad at the travel center. I think I was about 14 years old.
I worked for my family in the cattle business, so I worked cleaning trucks and trailers and cattle pens.
First job, working at a grocery store.
Bagging groceries or cashier?
Bagging, stocking shelves.
Just helping my dad, because I've raced every summer. I never had time to have a job.
First job, I was a food assistant at St. Michael's Hospital.
That would be farming with my dad, because I grew up in the dairy business.
I worked as a barista at Freddy's Coffee House, in which I then moved up to being the manager when I was 15.
My first job was a paper delivery boy in our neighborhood, and quick story behind that is I had to get a paper out and get a job to pay my parents back for the go-kart that we bought.
Working with my dad a lot. Growing up when I was 14, I was working on the job sites a lot.
What was the first race you ever won?
Heat race?
Anything, feature or,
Well,
let's say your first feature.
Go-karts. My second year racing go-karts.
And what track?
GSR.
We had a lot of fun getting to know the drivers. The consensus seemed to be that Bristol would be their favorite track to drive, and Jeff Gordon took top honors as their favorite NASCAR driver. Of course, throughout the year, we kept tabs on our Wisconsin drivers. The Cup Series off last weekend, so Paul Menard was in his home state for the Xfinity race at Road America. 6 laps to go. Blake Cook, with mechanical failures, has to be pushed, and that allows Menard to move in front with enough gas to take the checkered flag. A great moment for him, and he followed it up by watching the Packers game that night. The Cup Series runs at Darlington tonight with some cool throwback paint schemes on those cars. We're back after this.
Brought to you by Country Fresh Meats.
Country Fresh Meats. Fresh is in the name, and that's what we serve. Nothing but the freshest meat products from local farms in the area. No preservatives needed. Just your pork, beef, and sausage the way it's supposed to be. With special packages and gift baskets, you can be sure to get the best bang for your buck. We pride ourselves in tailoring our products to what you need. Whether it's for a family get-together or party, we can create special orders to fit what you need. Taste the difference quality makes. Country Fresh Meats, from our farms to you.
Looking for a high-impact way for your business to stand out from the rest? Flipside Graphics specializes in vehicle wraps, vinyl graphics, and much more. Cutting-edge graphics with professional results is what we stand for. Have a large fleet that needs to be flipped or shirts to be embroidered? Our design team will handle every aspect of the project from start to finish. We design it, we wrap it, we flip it. Call Flipside Graphics today and stand out from the competition.
Do you like to walk?
Do you want to live longer?
You will love square dancing.
Friends you meet for life.
Marvelous people.
I guess I meet people. I love it.
Love it.
I love square dancing.
The fun, the family.
Great variety of music.
The camaraderie.
Too young?
It's fun. Try it, you'll like it.
Call 715-544-7969. Visit WisconsinSquareDancing.com for more information. First lesson free, singles and couples welcome.
We know how hectic your day can be. If it's time for your next oil change service, visit Brickner's of Wausau Valvoline Express Care Center. We'll change your oil with quality Valvoline oil and new Valvoline filter. Complete vehicle maintenance check in 30 minutes or less, plus a car wash. No appointment needed. Right now, upgrade to Valvoline Max Life or synthetic oil and get a Jimmy Johnson or Dale Earnhardt Jr. hat and wiper blades or a complete fuel system treatment. At Brickner's of Wausau Valvoline Express Care Center.
Our time's up for this season's last edition of FastTrax. We are so happy you tuned in and even told your friends about us. Our thanks go out to Jana, Kurt, Michael, Ed, Scott, and all those drivers who spent some time with us in front of the microphone and the cameras. And we can't thank our sponsors enough: Brickner's of Wausau, Flipside Graphics, and Country Fresh Meats. I'm Bryon Graff. As always, we will see you at the track.